Okay, fun. Got a couple people hanging out. Hey, nice to see you all. So fun. Thanks for jumping in so quick. I think you're all pretty early. No, you're not actually. You're right on time. Just faster than I'd expected. So very welcome. I'm just gonna be developing some features today. I think just been in the mood to develop a little bit more live, Let people see what I'm working on, get involved. So there should be a chat here. I haven't enabled voice, but pretty sure chat's working. If anyone wants to check, feel free to send me a message. Um, and then we'll get started once I grab a Coke Zero. Fuck yeah. Hey there, Brighto. Good to see you. The only thing I want to change is I'm not getting notification sounds. So I'm going to check this quickly. Thanks for your patience. If I don't see it, that's all right. I'll have to take a look in a second. Okay. 99% sure that because I'm using OBS, notification sounds are gone. So I'm gonna have to pop in every now and then to see if anyone says anything. But yeah, first little live stream. Happy to be here. Happy to try it out. Coke Zero and LFG. Yeah, let's chat a bit about what I want to work on. So gonna crack open. Let's go into, let's say, freeform here. Freeform, very much not the best whiteboard tool, but it is free, and that I'm not mad at. All right, just gonna align this so I can see chat still, and let's go. So there's a few things I'm kind of interested in doing in this session. First thing, just some notes for anyone joining. This is gonna be, ooh, la la la. So an awesome live coding sesh where I'm just gonna develop directly for the awesome, make some code, hopefully get something merged into production. And it's going to be a fun feature. That's my objective. So let's just put this on the board, make a little dream list here. It's objective, make a fun feature. We have a few candidates for what this fun feature is, and I am super down for some input. So I'll list them out. These are things that we've seen in the community building, which we're pretty inspired by, and we want to make sure we have official support for. But I want to make sure I can deliver it today. So got to keep it narrow in scope, but exciting and fun. Something that I can do like kind of not a crappy version, but like a MVP version, Safe enough to test, maybe a little broken, maybe it needs a little bit of love. That's the objective. Let's make these things go left. Oh, if only I had chosen to set up Miro. My gosh. All right, that's fine. We live and we learn. We also obsessively left align all the text, even though it's not visible. Boom. Okay. So options, maybe do a little poll in a sec. Feel free to throw anything in chat, but things I've been seeing which are very exciting would be the amazing, awesome Possum app. So this is an app that I believe is currently on the iOS store. I'm not sure about the Google Play Store, but if it's on iOS, it's very likely that they push it to Google Play. We've been loving using it internally. I'm certain I spelled this wrong, so my apologies. All it really is it takes advantage of the fact that the Awesome is now Bluetooth capable, and it gives you a Bluetooth controller on your device. Sorry, on your phone for the Awesome. So I think there's a version of this that could be MVP-able today. That'd be pretty cool. The questions that come up would be things like, we'll get there. We'll get there. For now, I'm just gonna leave this up. That's an option. Second option is a drawable pattern system. So we've always had the ability to have different patterns on the awesome. These patterns are inside of Stroke Engine. I hope you've seen them. They're things like, sure, simple penetration is one, but then there's robo stroke and stop and go. All these things are lovely, but they're a little difficult to, extend the universe of. So if we were to make it so you could just squiggle your little finger on a screen or draw something on a computer and distribute it freely to your friends, that'd be great. This could be built in an MVP form during this call if we take advantage of the position streaming. Could work. So let's just keep thinking here. What else is something we've been seeing quite a bit of? Of course, there's hardware things that we're quite in love with. Uh, Loving the awesome alt extension that has been beautiful. But today we're going to focus on software and like a quick fun feature. It's going to take a second to think. There's one more thing I want to pull up from the depths here. We could, so we currently have awesome telemetry, uh, streaming to the dashboard. I think this is less compelling. Like we currently have this, but it's just not like it's not it's not tasty yet. So I'm in fact going to cut this because I think all that work would be maybe a little, I don't know, unexciting. So the proposals so far are on this call, we kind of like MVP out a Bluetooth controller on your phone, or we MVP a drawable pattern system. I'm gonna open up a little poll. Plus, if anyone has, there's only 3 of us here right now. Love you all. Thank you so much. But if anyone has a good idea for something that they'd love to see MVP'd on this call, feel free to drop it in. But I'm gonna make a little poll. We'll let it run for like 10 minutes in case people pop in, pop out, whatever. What should we MVP on this call? Sorry, just making a poll. So right now we have awesome BLE native app controller. Cool. And the alt would be a pattern drawing system. Disregard my camera blurring out. Okay. Something else. We'll add a little something else section. All right. My personal vote, by the way, the poll is in the chat. Feel free to go pop over there and let me know what you think. I think my personal vote is to do the awesome BLE native app controller. So, pattern drawing. Okay. I got some people coming in. Pattern drawing, love it. Brighto. What is so long to say? What do you mean? Tell me more. Oh, you mean like literally the word is so long to say? The phrase? In the meantime, I'm just gonna clean up my notes here in case anyone pops in. Just confuse it won't run. Okay. Gotcha. So if you keep like going crazy. Yeah, we're getting more votes in for pattern drawing. That's fun. Sure. Native app controller. So let me see. What I'd propose for each of these so far is literally, it's super simple. If we're gonna, so just gonna keep good notes in case anyone joins late. But if we're going to MVP something today, yeah, we should be clear on what the scope is. Scope. So let's talk about that scope. So if we were to do today an MVP, let me make sure everything can be seen more or less. If we were to MVP a native app controller, the trick here is we'd want following things. I want it is Okay, so I see chat there, but I'm gonna come right back. I'm just gonna write this out. An app I can install uh, on Apple or Google Play Store. Should have no login, no Wi-Fi requirements, nothing really, just a Bluetooth function that lets you control the awesome. And by control the awesome, we mean specifically keeping scope narrow for now. We mean launch the awesome into stroke engine. Basically the exact same way the radar works today. The radar is the wireless remote, just its code name. Left line is driving me crazy. Okay, we accept that. And allows you to change each of these settings. Oof, gosh. Freeform, you're killing me. What's going on here? Oh, yeah. All right. So it allows you to change these things. Let's, oh my gosh, freeform. Get out of here. So that'd be pattern, stroke, depth, sensation, etc. Those things. Pretty minimal. That would be the scope there if we were to do this. And the alt would be if we were to MVP of drawing system. So pattern drawing system. Yeah, this one's a little more interesting. I do see some chat stuff, so let me just jump in here. So it does convey exactly what you're making when you do pattern drawing. Thank you so much, Fredo. So from a UX perspective, the name should make the feature clear. Okay, so you think just that it's a little unclear in the poll itself. Can I edit the poll? I cannot. So we will hope that anyone who joins and wants to throw in a vote can figure it out. I'm going to keep these notes up on screen for like 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then I'll jump into some coding. More pattern patterns is something people always ask about KM. That's mostly why people want to streaming. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think that's very fun. So I could be convinced to MVP this out today. We'll leave that poll open. Let's just talk about an MVP of what that might look like too. All right, so an MVP pattern drawing system. Obviously, the quickest way to deliver this is not ideal, but the quickest way is to host, yeah, I'll say quickest. Essentially a sketch pad on the dashboard. So that's dashboard.researchanddesire.com, which will require a login, will be closed source code, blah, blah, blah. There's all these trade-offs. It's just fast. We already have it. I don't need to set up a application for this to work. So if that's the case, it also has the small negative that sketching will require you to use your mouse. I think that's acceptable. We should have a couple conditions here. So I've thought about this a few times. We need the pattern must be a pure function. That's the first thing we have to say. Must be I'll be very mathematical about it. A pattern is a continuous function. By continuous function, we mean there are no jumps. In fact, I should be even more clear with a derivative which respects the velocity and acceleration limitations of the motor. Is that all MVPable? No, maybe. But what certainly is MVPable is ensuring that we don't backtrack. That's the biggest thing about functions is you can't have two y values at the same x value. So we're not doing Bezier curves. Would it be appropriate to say we could do like a cubic spline style thing? potentially. Just thinking out loud. So just notes for myself, no Bezier. They're just too complex. Read a lovely paper on how to avoid Bezier curves jumping back on themselves, or simply detecting if a Bezier curve is reversed algorithmically, and that is not ideal in practice. Did try. Probably, we'll say possibly, like, oof, is spline also bad? Let's leave both of these. What's the dumbest way to achieve this? The dumbest and simplest way to achieve this is you doodle, and for every single scratch on that notepad, I save a point, and then I just stream those points to you. That's the dumbest way. So let's do that. The function comment here will just be a set of conditions that we must follow for this to be effective. So fastest approach is you draw on screen and I save every single point on the function as a point in the database, which I stream back to you. The content of your drawing as a series of points, which I stream back to you. Okay, cool. There are currently some limitations with this. Notably, we have position streaming on the OSSM, which can be used in things like the fun scripts integration inside of the docs. Lovely, which can be used, I believe FabTap might have some issues right now because we're not an officially supported project. That's in the works. What else is true here? Losing my thread, so I'm going to come back. Yeah, got it. So the biggest annoyance that I have today that we have to determine if is in scope for MVP is that the controls don't modify the pattern. I would really, really like the controls to modify the pattern. What I mean by that is the stroke, depth, sensation, etc. These should be modulators on whatever you draw. Is that in scope for an MVP? We're going to find out. I'm going to put that as like maybe too large for MVP, but critical. Same thing with speed, of course. So we have this notion, which is wonderful. We should have a controllable speed. That is an interesting statement in itself, but we'll get there. We have a couple questions to answer. I'm sort of fluttering around. Let's check to see. Okay. Just making sure that I know what's up. Yes. So you draw a pattern. I receive a set of points. There will be X and Y values. The X is not specifically time. The Y is not specifically centimeters, but X will be a function of time and Y will be a function of, in this case, steps or steps target. The reason these coordinates X and Y must be functions is so that we could ever potentially modulate them using the controls, speed, stroke, depth, sensation, etc. Let me make sure that I capture this information. We are at this point, we got 2 votes in for the pattern drawing system and 1 vote in for good old BLE native app controller. So if no one else joins, you 2 win. And you just get the thing you want, which I'm very happy to deliver. So here's open for your sake. No, it's not. So sensation is not a thing in position streaming. In fact, none of these controls today are a thing, as far as I'm aware, in position streaming. It would be interesting to allow people to include sensation markers. That is so out of MVP, but I'll take note of it. Definitely Let's just say def, because who cares about spelling? Def not in MVP, but cool would be allowing sensation markers or effects, like a pause would be the simplest one, where you put in a little pin and you say this is a sensation point, and that sensation is the function pause or hold or vibrate or something. It's a little too big for MVP, I think, if we're going to deliver something today that people can play with or at least touch, but very interesting. The others, they, for the most part, have clear analogs. Stroke depth. Gosh, why can't I remember the last one? Regardless. So stroke depth sensation, the other one, which for some reason is slipping my mind. These ones, they do have a clear analog for the patterns. Okay, let me go back and capture my crazy thought here about just what this data should look like. So here's the vibe. I'm gonna do a little mock-up of dashboard. So, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. There's four. Ah, pattern is the last one, but that's nonsense in this context because we are making a pattern. All right, so here we go. This is our little mock-up, because right now pattern drawing system is definitely in the lead with, again, both of your lovely votes. Thank you so much. Okay, so little dashboard mock-up. Right, so you go to this, that is dashboard.researchanddesire.com. You will have some kind of canvas that you can draw on. Where here we have our y coordinate, which is in fact our position. We're going to call it position percent. And I'll talk about that in a sec. Can I rotate? Freeform! Don't do this to me, freeform! Oh my god. The worst, truly the worst whiteboard tool. Next time we're jumping to Miro. All right, and the x coordinate here is not time, but it's a function of time. I'm just gonna call it like time-ish right now. The reason it has to be time-ish and not time is if you change your speed down to 1, you expect more points to be streamed to you than if you were to have your speed at 100. So we should probably talk about how that'll work as well. Yeah. So y coordinate, it's not even really position percent, it's position-ish. Actually, I think it literally is position percent. I think it's exactly position percent. And then x coordinate is time-ish. Yeah, okay. Let's try a little curve here. Do you have a pencil, sir? No. Freeform does not have a pencil. So we will just do this. Little curvies. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yep, that's an amazing tool. All right, let's go again. Pencil. Ah, hey, pencil. Oh, pen, whatever. All right, so you will draw a curve, something like this. We will do validation. I will clarify what that validation is. Okay, works for me. We have a curve. We will do the following validation. Bold, copy, paste. So curve validation. It is critical that the following things are true. It is critical that the curve does not go back on itself. So it must be a function is the statement. I'm sure there's a, is it correct to say an affine function? We're gonna go into a quick detour. I'm gonna go find the name of this phrase. And I think OBS, which one did I put on Chrome? 3. Hey there. All right. What's it called? What's the definition of a pure function? I think affine just means linear, but I think pure function is the thing I'm thinking. I'm in Thailand right now, so of course it's all in Thai. Thank you so much. Pure function has the following properties. Now, get out of here. Away. Yes, okay. Pure function mathematics is a function that consistently produces the same output for a given set of inputs and has no side effects, meaning that it doesn't modify any external state. Awesome. Thank you. Random AI, hope you're referencing some wonderfully good grade 3 textbook, because I should have known this. Right. For the sake of my curiosity and closing this off, an affine function should just be a linear function, and then we'll go back to work. But thanks for joining me on little ADHD detour. Let's go. Affine function definition. Yeah, spelling, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, a little bit more. Is polynomial where the degree or less, absolute linear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just linear. But this implies, yeah, matrix or vector. Cool, cool, cool. In higher dimensions. Okay, sure. Understood. Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Linear in all variables is affine. All right. Math lesson over. Thank you so much. Let's do it. We are over on 4. Let's crack it open and let's open Discord here. Hey, you're back. Perfect, perf. I'm just gonna let people know what we're working on so they can choose to join if they like. At the end, we're working on an MVP of pattern drawing. Cool. Okay, so curve validation, we must have a function, simple, easy, pure function, i.e. the line doesn't cross over. Okay, we must save a bunch of points out of this. That is true, but there's more validation that I was thinking about earlier. So let me just pull this back. Okay. Right, so it must be playable on an awesome. That means we have to respect some conditions like it must be a continuous function, a pure continuous function, just add that there. To also be playable, it must have a limited max velocity. Oh no, my side light. Very much born into the darkness right now, so is what it is. Limited max velocity and max acceleration. MVP style, so we're just gonna like hard limit this. Acceleration, cool. These are the things that make it playable. What else do we care about for playability? Let me go back to chat, by the way. Welcome, welcome. And literally, when I say welcome, I'm just talking to you. It's you and me right now. You and me. So thanks. Thanks again, for real. This is the first time I'm doing a little live thing. If the community likes it, we'll do it during North American European hours. For now, this is at my convenience. Good test. Very happy to have you. Okay. Limited max velocity and acceleration. What else makes this playable? I think we're going to limit the complexity of the curve. There's a specific concern that I have. And I'll specify what it is. So limit the complexity. What do I mean? I'm concerned that if I permit people to draw anything in this first pass, hello light, people are they'll potentially draw an hour and a half long curve, like a single pattern that's 2 hours long. At which point I have an edge case that I don't want to deal with, which is like managing super long patterns. Maybe there's a better way to do this, actually, and permit them to do that. Because we're streaming and not choosing to save patterns to device, then I could just let you draw a curve like cubic spline style as long as you stay a pure continuous function. Sorry, just thinking here. So then I could just chop up the points dynamically on the dashboard. So before sending it via Bluetooth, at discrete points, and then it doesn't matter so much. The downsides, let me just pull up, let me keep clear notes again, just make sure that things are not getting out of hand. How do we do curves? Right. And I have to remind myself to not be too complex to make sure I can deliver an MVP. So option one, you draw like a spline thing. And I just save, I think cubic spline is already a pure function, optionally continuous. And I just save the point details. So point details and chop up the messages at runtime. Streaming the exact points that you should go to as you're playing. So if you were to change the speed, cool. I'm going to send the points slower. Downside of this, it relies on the server to send the points to you as streamed data rather than permitting you to just download some pattern you found online. I kind of prefer that you could just download a random pattern you have found online as a JSON file, save it in memory, and then replay it whenever you want, right? It's a named thing that exists. That's the dream, at least to me. Man, this camera is really dead. It just keeps disconnecting, but we soldier on. So the alt here is sort of the same. You draw a spline thing. And I send the entire spline to you. So you can replay it at any time. That's a little bit more tempting. And then you could do the processing of chopping that spline up into a bunch of discrete points on the OSSM itself. So if I've got to do the math anywhere, anyway, on either the dashboard or on the device, I think I prefer to do the math of chopping that cubic spline up into point targets on device so that you can save it offline. That means squiggle on the dashboard, connect via Bluetooth to an OSSM, download it to device, bingo bango. There are a few quality of life things that will need to occur, but for MVP, tasty enough, tasty enough. Let's just make sure I'm not making too much work for myself. The easiest option is still take advantage of the existing position streaming. So step one on this MVP journey here is just take advantage. So however, step one is still use the existing position streaming to get this to work. So you draw some kind of curve, probably cubic spline, and I just send it to you as points. That means that I only have to enter streaming mode. I don't need like new complexity, and we get to move forward, you know, MVP style, deliver something fast. Cool. Awesome. I think this is the direction we're going to go. We'll take advantage of streaming and drawing. We're going to vibe code a little bit here, but with guidance. Let's do this. So we'll continue to mock up. I think I'm going to close this poll. Hello. And poll now. Done. And yeah, no worries. Take your time. I'm going to keep talking here because we're also recording. Chat is not included in the recording, so I'll be verbally repeating everything that comes through. And that's all right. But I'm going to start talking out loud like a crazy person, and you're going to hear a disembodied voice as you run off. So let's see. Excuse me here. Okay, so step one. Hey there, welcome. Just catch you up here. We're proposing a couple things for delivering as an MVP. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. Thanks for joining. No need to stick around too long. But just catch you up a little bit while you're here, while I got you for a couple seconds. We're gonna make a little pattern drawing system as an MVP, and we'll see if it's fun enough. Oh, no worries. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you so much. We're gonna keep this going for at least a couple more hours. Come in as you like. Cheers. I'll see you soon. Good luck with your emergency. All right, recapping again just for recording and anyone who comes in. We're doing an MVP here of something that goes into the dashboard and onto the awesome. The thing that makes the most sense is a drawable pattern system. So to deliver this in MVP fashion, it's going to be something we push onto the research and desire dashboard, and which takes advantage of the existing streaming on the awesome. So should be okay. Couple little quirks on it, but we got this. Just gonna finish wireframing out all the changes we need to make. So first things first, let's make it clear inside of these notes what we're up to in case anyone joins late, comes in and goes out. So this is gonna be, we're gonna MVP pattern drawing. Lovely. Bow, ba-da-bow. Ah, I got little sniffles. Okay. We're gonna MVP pattern drawing, dashboard pattern drawing page will be required. It'll essentially be this, where you squiggle, squiggle. This means that we're gonna have to save these squiggles into the database for absolutely no reason. Let's choose something random as our database object. Let's go. What do I got in here? Quick column, puzzle piece, letterbox. Come on. Give me something good. Come on, freeform, don't let me down. Yikes. It's too real, too on the nose. Bowling ball. Done. Okay, this is our database. Database. So we will save this pattern over here. We're gonna have to figure out what that looks like. What I mean when I say save a pattern, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna save the cubic spline as a JSON object. There's definitely a meme about this. Let me go find it. Let's see. So I think Chrome is 3. We'll go check on our OBS. Hello, OBS. Hello. Could you imagine if OBS crashed? Thank gosh, it did not. My cam has crashed. That's fine. But OBS, don't you dare. Okay, what's that meme? About senior devs saving Jason in the database. See if I can find it in guess mode here. Yeah. English man. Picture. Thank you. Let's do it. Yeah, literally this. Let's go. Copy image. Also dumb. Love it. Okay, we're gonna pull this into freeform as inspiration for how to poorly design a database structure. Remember it forever. Whenever I see these memes, I'm like, dear God, I hope I'm on this end of the curve and not just still this guy, the dummy on the left. Oh, you can't see me. Let me pull you back. You're on 4. Okay, we got this. Got a database. We're gonna store our spline. I'm pretty sure we're gonna land on cubic spline. Whoa, what is with this splitting? Store cubic spline as Jason. Sick. Okay. And we're gonna hope that that doesn't ruin all of our future choices. You never know. 50-50. Okay, here we are. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Oh, this drives me crazy. DB, we're gonna call this DB. What is up with this spacing? This is an advertisement against freeform. Don't use it. Please don't use it. Oh yeah. Think of your loved ones. Okay. I hate it deeply, and I accept it. There we are. So moving back here, we're gonna save this in our database. We're gonna have a little bit of a Bluetooth thing. Let me see if we got a Bluetooth icon. Blue Jay it is. On this page, we're gonna have a little Bluetooth utility that allows you to connect. That's gonna be called Bluetooth. Text got too small, so we're just gonna write it over top this dang bird. Say BLE utility. Excuse me. And this BLE utility will do the following thing. It will look for an awesome connect, send the cubic spline. So we need to have a command. So send a BLE command to enter streaming mode, but also indicate that it's going to be the cubic spline streaming mode and not something else. But also indicate that it's cubic spline streaming and not FatCap streaming, because life is more fun if you can save the patterns on your device. This is true, but I'm jumping back and forth here on the easiest implementation. Why are we not simply sending the position from the dashboard? The problem is we're gonna need the speed information. Because if I don't know your speed information, then I can't determine how fast or slow that pattern should play back to you. So, am I reaffirming that it is the most simple thing to send the cubic spline and bypass streaming? I'm going to say yes. I think we're going to lock that in. We're going to state that what are the risks? If I were to send you the whole cubic spline, and in that I am expecting your device to cut it up rather than the dashboard to cut it up into little segments. That's no problem. The work has to happen anyway. So let's just take note of that. Keep in mind, someone's got to cut up the cubic spline. cubic spline must eventually become position at time data. Position time data. Okay, that is true. So we can do it anywhere. We're just going to take this as a little block of work that we must do. Thinking about this. Yeah, so we must indicate that it's cubic spline. So it means that we're gonna lean in. We're gonna enter just pattern mode. Pattern mode will not be streaming mode. The reason for this is I want you to be able to play your patterns offline. I want you to be able to connect to the dashboard, browse through a beautiful repository of patterns that people vote on daily, where you can see a little preview of it, all this good stuff, and then just download and then never come back. So that you could take this awesome to a play party. You could bring it to a forest, middle of the woods, and do, hey, whatever the hell you want. Make sure that you always have the pattern that you had originally intended. This is the only way to decouple you from the internet. So, done. We're locked in. Lost camera, but we're back. C'est la vie. All right. Let's enter pattern mode. Pattern mode. We'll have to determine what that means, but now it's becoming a block of work. So pattern mode must exist on the awesome. That's cool. We can do that. This also implies that we have this dream that I can receive the awesome, not me personally. The awesome can receive and replay patterns from memory. Easy enough. We gotta prevent us from risking things getting a little out of hand. So what we'll do is we're gonna flag this one as potentially not deliverable as an MVP. I'm so sorry that I'm using color to indicate, so we're also going to use a cute little shape. Let's say there's like a mat. Ooh, yeah. Hey, I'll take that. This is our unicorn. Let's give this a little unicorn stamp. Let's go with a pink fill. There you go. So we want to deliver that feature, but maybe not an MVP. Maybe not right now. So we have our BLE utility on the dashboard. Looks for an awesome, connects to the awesome, sends the Bluetooth command to enter the pattern mode, then sends the pattern details. Those details, I would very much like to include a name, description, the cubic spline curve, spline JSON, maybe a version number. It's pretty easy to achieve. That'd be something we auto-generate, like no one would have to worry about controlling that. Anything else? Excuse me there. A little cold. Yeah, I believe that's all I want to receive. So let's keep going here. Version number, name description, keep spline JSON, version number, good enough. Then device, so the awesome must save this pattern to memory. We are potentially going to skip the saving part for MVP. So let's bring a little unicorn over here. Pink. Yeah. There we are. Not too sure if we're going to do the saving to memory part, just so that we can deliver something for MVP. Cool. And for anyone joining, unicorn equals, not sure if we're working on this. But we'll find out. Some things are inevitable, like paying your taxes. Cool. Okay. Double checking. See where we're at on Discord. At the moment, a lonely room. Just you and me. Somebody might eventually, in 1,000 years, watch this. Hope so. Oh, hey. Somebody just joined as I was lamenting that no one was here. Welcome. You're not the first viewer, but maybe the fourth or fifth. So excited to have you. Catch you up to speed briefly. We ran a little poll with folks who were here earlier on an MVP feature that'd be pretty fun to build out today. And we're going to work on pattern drawing. So that's going to be a couple of dashboard features to make sure that we can record your Y percentage and your X, just time-ish in the X coordinate. Then we're going to save that to the database, which is a bowling ball. And the only thing for an icon in freeform for blue is a Blue Jay. So the Blue Jay here is the Bluetooth utility will also make to connect and then send that pattern off to you. Little unicorns or anything that we might not work on today, just because we're focusing on MVP. So that includes right now saving these to memory, because what's going to happen is we're going to send the whole pattern, cubic spline, JSON data to the OSSM so that it can chop up that based on the speed, stroke, depth, etc., all by itself. Okay, cool. I'll assume everything's good there, but you're welcome to chat. There's a little chat over here, and I've got that thing open, so is what it is. Otherwise, you get to hang out with me as I go crazy about freeform. Favorite tool I've ever used. Here we go. So we know that our pieces of work will be, I feel like I should carry around this little thing for a little bit. We're gonna MVP pattern drawing. That's the vibe. So if anyone pops in, this is what we're talking about. These are the blocks of work. Must eventually become position time data. So we're gonna change this because we've decided must be on awesome, then converted to, where it says go here at this time, etc. There is validation that must occur. I think this validation must occur in both places. That would be on dashboard and on device. Cubic spline must be validated. And we have a bit of a conversation over here on what validation means. Just making sure. Right. Curve validation. A pure continuous function that the line doesn't cross back on itself. That's playable on an awesome, meaning it has unlimited max velocity and max acceleration. Potentially has unlimited complexity of the curve. In the now that we know we're going to land on cubic splines, what this really means is that, hey, we'll just crop you to like max 100 points, max 100 points on your cubic spline. Easy enough way to limit the complexity. 100 points on a pattern is already significant. Hey, there's going to be a couple things that I can't imagine how people are going to work up. So for instance, a thing I was just thinking about is how are people going to do like high vibrational frequencies on a large sine wave pattern? I don't think they will, not in this version. I could imagine a world where we do have that very high frequency vibration, but it's going to have to be something like a post-process filter, kind of like what we were talking about with the sensation points. The sensation points are not presented in this graph because we're definitely not doing them. So just out of scope for MVP to be clear. So click to add a sensation filter. That is definitely some unicorn shit. So let's go grab this boy. Okay. So the sensation filter would be something like adding a vibrational mode, adding a pause and a hold, and we're calling it a sensation filter because the actual setting from Stroke Engine called sensation is what would control that moment. So if your sensation is 100%, it's 100% of whatever your sensation filter is. If it's 0, it's 0% of whatever your sensation filter is, or sensation point. Depends on what you like. Very unicorny, out of scope for MVP, very fun. All right. So cubic spline must be validated on dashboard and on device. We got to do this on device as well to ensure that if somebody was to just make their own pattern somewhere and send it, which you're super welcome to do, then it's still safe. That's all. Okay, pattern mode must exist in the OSSM. Yes. What else is a piece of work we have to consider? Let's think about this. How do we do curves? Okay. This is canceled. We're not going to be using the streaming because it is poorly aligned with the mission objective, allowing you to fuck anyone anywhere in a forest. No electricity, well, some electricity, obviously, but no internet, at least. I want you to have your patterns. I want you to be able to carry them around with you. Anything else on the dashboard? What's the trick? What else we got to do over here? I'm not so sure. We're going to do a little OBS check. Make sure I still got everything recording. Check. OBS is good. We've not broken everything, which I'm happy to say. All right. Well, let's get to it. I think our task list is clear. I'm just gonna make these little work blocks because I enjoy the vibe quite a bit. So work block 1. So on dashboard, we need a pattern drawing page. That's cool and easy. On dashboard, we need on database DB, we need a structure for saving. For saving cubic splines. We can talk about the DB structure on that in a sec, but it shouldn't be too difficult. We need the Bluetooth thing that will on very likely the same pattern page. BLE sender on pattern page. And then there's one thing that might be out of scope, but we're just going to talk about it because it's really the biggest thing. It's the coolest thing. I think it's going to end up being out of scope though for MVP, depending on how long this call goes. Let's find out. So the BLE sender on the pattern page. All right, so the thing that might be out of scope is obviously a page where you can scroll through existing patterns that other people have created. And you just download them. That's the thing. That's the dream. So we're going to make this one a pink unicorn just because I don't know if we have enough time. But let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. We have a pretty simple set of tasks. Checking. Ah, no. No. My camera keeps disconnecting and my hat's crooked because I can't determine the left-right balance. It's all mirrored. I don't know anything. Okay. Trick is ignore it if you can. Resolved. You do important work over here. That's for sure. All right, let's switch over to cursor. Time to make some motions. So let's go number 2, camera 2, and let's clean up a little bit. We're gonna open up terminals. What do we care about? Let's run our terminals commands, open up everything that we like, but we're only gonna be working with the awesome and with rad app. So let's clear it all up. And we'll make a new chat here. I wonder if I have time to sneak away and blow my nose. I think I do, because I'm in charge. So, BRB, I'll leave a little note here in freeform that I am blowing my nose. Let's go back to, gosh, camera 4? Camera 4, hell yeah. BRB, blowing my nose. 2 seconds. Hello, I've returned. So, let's do this. We have our task list ahead of us. We're gonna MVP pattern drawing. Let's get our dev environment set up a little bit better. Oh no, camera, come back. Come back, camera. Why you disconnect? You too hot? Probably too warm. Almost certainly a temperature thing. But hey, I'm not debugging that one today. Oh, oh. Cruel and unusual how uneven this hat gets. So sure that I'm gonna go back through this stream and it's just gonna have been 45 degrees the entire time. Next time, somebody's got to tell me. All right, let's do this. So we're gonna pop over into camera 1. 3, 2, 1, camera 1. All right. Now inside of each of these, we're gonna check our get branch. And none of those. Let's clear git checkout main. Git pull. It's always the simple stuff where you're like, oh, 100%, 100%. Somebody's gonna see me doing like git switch main, git pull, and they're gonna say, I have 1,000 better ways to do everything you're doing. Love it. Teach me your ways. All right, git switch, check out AJ slash, say awesome position streaming. Let's also just check git status really quick. Maybe I'm on. Nah, okay, good. Nothing to commit. Clean work tree. That's what I like to see. So git switch dash c AJ slash awesome position streaming. No, awesome patterns. That's the dashboard called rad app. Done, done, done. And now let's do the awesome one. Git status. What do I got? What do I got? Happy to see it. Git checkout main. And we'll do a juicy little git pull. Don't really care, so git stash. And git pull. Let's go. Hey, yo, there it is. Git switch dash c AJ slash awesome patterns. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Clear, clear, clear it. LFG. So we have this up and running. Let's check our Docker containers. I did not share that application, so just trust me. I'm looking at some containers at the moment, nothing crazy. Okay, we do have some stuff up. We have Sonar Cube running. Interesting. And MSP. Well, all right. We accept you for what you are. And that is unknown. Good to know. I haven't been showing cursor the entire time. Sorry. My bad. Let's go into camera 2. Camera 2? Not camera 2. I swear it was camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Easy. Streaming is so easy. No mistakes, ever. All right. Here we go. Brain, thinking. So here we are. We have our awesome repo. We are on the right branch. That's all we need. So as far as branches go, blah, 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 blah. Wonderful. Let's start our project. We're going to start with npx codebase db reset, just to make sure we're on a clean slate. And while we do that, we're going to pop into Chrome. Always gotta check OBS because I don't trust it. Not yet. Maybe someday. It's an early relationship. Let's just do a little research on cubic spline libraries in React. Yeah, we could just ask, what's the same to solve it. Gosh, I really want to set my language. What is going on? It's just a guest. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Almost not carrying, getting close to not carrying. Yeah, don't care. Okay. It is what it is. Check out React Spline here. Seeing 1.4K stars. I'm seeing 130 commits. Ooh, nice. No. Yeah, no, this is for Spline. The amazing, very wonderful. You should know about it. 3D rendering tool. It just makes these like super lovely scenes and is deeply not what we want. Look at this. Look how juicy this is. If you've ever done any browser rendering, you should be in love right now. This is performant, it's fast, it's amazing, it's totally useless for our application. Oh, do I want to click? I do want to click. Let's go check this out. Interesting. No, okay, it's not quite what I wanted. Not quite what I was thinking. But pretty and irrelevant. So, killed, amazing, not relevant. Cubic spline. Let's go. TypeScript, cubic spline. Interesting. Come back, camera. If anyone knows how to fix that, let me know. That's an iPhone acting as the camera for a MacBook. Disconnects every 45 seconds. It's insane. Oh, I'll just fill it with AI. Every single time it blurs, just expect AI. Should find a way to like detect that it's failed and then switch cameras, but hey, that is a problem for a different day. Let's check Discord, make sure I got no messages. Seems good. All right. Lonely, just the way I like it. Ah, crazy hair. 3, 2, 1. Fix. All right. Let's go. A little sunshine. Fake sunshine. A little fix of the apron. Bought myself a little outfit I wear when I'm going to stream. Hoping to do a couple of these things a week. See how it goes. Makes it a little bit more fun, a little less lonely. So next time I'll schedule it a little in advance so you know it's coming. Hope to see you. All right. back to Chrome, taking a look. Just looking for like a good cubic spline tool. This is so few downloads. So let's just say drawing cubic spline in React. Let's go for it. Let's go here. See what we have. If we don't want spline 3D, and I don't want your AI summary, I just want a piecewise cubic spline. Oh, no. Hey, not quite. Still possible. Okay, let's just search something a bit more general. React interactive graphs. Yeah, React charts. Yeah, no base UIs. Our final option is to just go insane. Well, let's take a look at this. What do we got? Let's go open a code sandbox. Ah, fun. I love when you see an ad for an old product that you were in love with. Just implies it's still kicking around. Let's see if that comes back up right here. Sailor. What a wonderful tool. Happy to see it out in existence. So this was it's a Django product, which I believe has a React front end. Open source tool for more or less Shopify replacement. It's well designed. And I remember a few years ago when I first got into software, maybe a decade ago, Sailor was a very strong tool for me when I was trying to sell people on site upgrades, pulling them off site. Who was the big client who was on Sailor? I think it was the soap company called Lush. I think Lush was on Sailor at the time. It was such a strong selling point. Big rec. I don't need it right now. I use Shopify, and to be honest, I recommend Shopify. But if you're the kind of person who likes open source projects, you're here, so I'm assuming you do, and you have a shop that you want to build up. Sailor, this little ad is wonderful. They do have some close word stuff if I remember correctly, but totally worth it. Let's just make sure that I'm not crazy. Open source. Yeah. All right. Lovely. Let's keep moving. So inside of this example, we have these charts. They're a little intense. Not exactly what we want. Okay, we're gonna do one more search here. Yeah, we're gonna do one more search before we kind of just let AI run with it and see what it gives us. There are other options, I know. We could do like, remember Desmo? Desmo was that tool where you could draw math equations for, I think it was like up to university level if you wanted like first year, second year university and take the derivatives and whatnot. And it would do this intelligent stuff, but that was just a canvas. If we wanted, we could go a little custom like that and do a canvas like Pixie.js. I don't think that's the approach that I want to take. I'm hoping, still quite hopeful that there's an open source tool, licensable, where I could just draw on a graph, with minimal complexity, you know? All right, so let's check. So React, drawable graphs, simple. All right, what do you say here? React float, no. Force graph, no. No, I don't think this is gonna be it. No, it's graph visualization. So this is all nose. Directed graph, like DAG, dude? No, we don't need that. Oh, no. Chart.js. Is Chart.js and Recharts interactive? Drawable? Yes, D3.js, sure. Infinite complexity. You can do whatever the hell you want in D3.js. Again, we're looking for simple, simple, simple. For the record, instead of doing D3.js, I would very much prefer to go Pixie.js. So nice. A few years ago, they merged. Pixie React into Pixie.js. It's just a lot better. Definitely recommended. I wonder if this is just going to be several hours of me recommending tooling to you, and then I do nothing. I doubt it. Don't worry. We'll get something for you. Okay. So one last chance. We're going to check out allow users to draw a graph, like a function in React. Let's say draw and modify a cubic spline in React. Who knows? Maybe we get it. Okay, do it in English. Thank you, dear. Yeah. Bezier spline editor. Well, if we can get Bezier, perhaps we could force it to be. It's getting pretty close, man. Getting pretty close to me just doing Pixie.js. We'll go ask our dear Lord. Ah, ouch. That is some low support. Okay. Well, Bezier is too complex anyway. It fails our first condition, so damn. Let's go. I'm considering Pixie.js. We're going to talk to our robot, see what he says. So you need to come over with me to platform 2. Let's take a look, see if you're here, because I don't trust OBS. Hey, welcome. Welcome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The mission. Kind of want to write this down on the whiteboard in case anyone comes in, but you might not be able to see it. So, in the Discord chat, I'm just going to leave a note that we are doing pattern drawing. 1, 2, 3. Camera. Come back. Come on, little camera. You can do it. Reconnect. Hey, I hear you. You reconnected. Thank you so much. Such a kind little creature. Here we are. Let's do this. So we have first task, which is inside of the rad app. Yes, we're going to reinstall Supabase. We're going to allow the DB reset to continue. We're going to get this little guy crunching. So I'm going to pop over to ask mode. Just maybe plan mode here. And we're going to say, oopsie, not terminal. Inside of rad app. I want you to think about, Mr. Machine, what it might look like. Should we do it underneath the public directory? I think for the convenience, we're going to put it underneath. What is Scratch? Scratch is not used. Full screen is no. Sidebar is yes. We'll go app. We'll go into awesome. We have a patterns page. Here it is. So let's talk about this. And let's make a dynamic route for the UID, just so that the robot knows what we're talking about. Page.tsx. Cool. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, nothing crazy. Same thing. Voting page, plop it in there. Happy. So, dear robot overlord, here's what we need. We need a clear and simple way where a user can create a cubic spline, can create and modify modify a cubic spline. Spline curve on a graph. Oopsie. Gotta focus on my writing on this page. Here are the objectives. So this means that on the page where they have the UUID, there's a few things, few rules that we have to keep in mind. If UUID is equal to new, then assume we're creating a new one. A pattern. If UUID equals a UUID before, then assume it's an existing pattern and attempt to fetch from Supabase. Great. I'm going to put a little Supabase DB changes in a migration or using an MCP. These would be new table in the awesome schema called pattern. The columns would be owner ID. So we have ID. Potentially, we haven't fully made this transition for the IDs to be UUIDs in general, but that's fine. Let's move on. ID, owner ID. We will also need the name, the version. How do we want to save the version? Probably JSONB. We'll need the points, so the cubic spline. JSON, not JSONB. No need to search that. What else? What else? My dears. I also am trying to change to this format, so we will. Okay. Cubic spline, not validated in database, validated elsewhere. Cool. That works for me. Create a date. Edited or modified date. Updated at, is that what I'm using? I don't know. Something. So we'll just say check. Yeah. Already have the MCP. Obviously, okay, so if you're using cursor, you can add the MCPs, which you know. You can also add the plugins. The plugins give you some additional features in addition to the MCPs. When I installed the linear extension as well as the linear MCP, I found no noticeable improvements to my quality of life. Maybe because life isn't all about coding. I don't know. No need to get philosophical. I just don't get it. Not yet. Let me know if you do. All right, back to it, back to it. Let's see. Database changes out of the way. Perfect. We need our RLS. Do we want to have a state for now? MVP, we'll say no. We're not going to have a draft state. We are just going to have published. That's the only kind of pattern we're going to support. We will eventually have some sort of voting system so that people can like heart things, like them, favor them, but just not MVP, not in the MVP scope. So RLS, quick OBS check, make sure everything's working. Boom, boom, we're good. So RLS, the status will be if you're authenticated, then you can read a pattern. If you're the owner, then you can modify or create a pattern. Cool. Works for me. Anything else we need to think about? No, keeping it quite simple. We're going to say see DB structure below. All right. Let's think about this here. The biggest thing we have to do is understand how we want people to draw on our canvas. Again, my personal preference, if there's no existing tooling for this, is Pixie.js. It's good on mobile. It's good on desktop. It is fairly optimized and would give us a lot of the things that we need for interaction. It can be optimized, I should be clear. By default, it's not the most optimal thing ever, but you can do a lot of fun things like viewport calling to remove elements that are no longer visible inside of the canvas. It's really good. I almost went into story time there, but we'll save that. Save that for a different day. All right. What do I want? What I want is to ask the damn thing to find a solution. We're going to keep it open-ended. We're going to see what it comes up with. Find a solution where our users can draw on a canvas with their cursor. Their cursor or finger. Ayo. And then we'll find the nearest cubic spline. Is this overly complex? Yes. We're going to backtrack. Where users can add a cubic spline point to a canvas and modify the handles for this cubic spline. This could be any React tool. React tool. I have some suggestions, but I'm curious what you think. All right, great. What's up next here? Lovely, lovely. We're curious what you think, blah, blah, blah. We're just gonna get this framework up and running, then we'll jump into the code, construct it ourselves a little bit more, but we're being MVP. So it's gonna feel a little vibe coding today as long as we're consistent in our fact checking, in our code review. It's acceptable. Ooh. Here we go. Just thinking here, kind of curious to see if this bad boy can do it in one shot. Give us a lot of that base infrastructure. I know it's a little much. I think you can. I'm curious what you think makes sense first. I'm not going to give it guidance, even though I have strong, strong, strong opinions what this should be. And on the homepage, we need to be able to browse a table of all available patterns. We're going to do a better job of that later, but I want you to do 10 stack table and our existing table components. Let's make this work. Beauty. There are some limitations on this. Note the minimum pattern is 3 points. No. The minimum pattern, let me confirm this. It is in fact 3 points. Because we could do 2 points. That's just pretty dang boring. Is there a reason we'd want to do 2? Thinking. All right, let's make these statements. So first, limitations. First thing, the first point must be identical to the last point and smoothly continuous. Smooth / continuous. No, smoothly continuous. Logging in, power time. And then we'll do a quick OBS check. Make sure we haven't lost everything. All right, must be smoothly continuous. Please ignore the spelling. Thank you so much. The first point must be identical. It's killing me. So let's fix that. Sure, there's other mistakes in here, but let's not read too deep. That means that the handle, the cubic spline handle in must have the same slope as the cubic spline handle out. Doable. Another limitation. The minimum curve is then 2 points. I'm gonna be careful about this. It is then 1 point. Because the last point is identical to the first point. To the first point. Identical? Am I crazy? We're gonna go double check. This is spelling bee now. You are on tab 2, 3. Let's go. Did I get it? Yeah, LFG. No camera, of course. Classic. Come. Come on, camera. Come on, dear thing. We'll see. Sometimes if you toggle on and off another setting. Yeah, there you are. Come on. Hey, I gotcha. We're back. Identical? Spelling? Did I get it right? Get out of here. Ah! No, that's not what I mean. Anyway, good to go. AL. Okay, let's fix my little tuxedo. Oh. Apron. Thank you. The idea behind the apron is I'm just a local coffee shop worker making you something to enjoy later. Also think it looks kind of fun. Nothing much more to it. And it's pretty cheap. So whenever I'm streaming, whenever I'm working with you guys, or you'll see me in this. Let's do this. And hey, don't want to be crazy, but maybe eventually also a desk. We'll see. They call it a laptop for a reason, so might as well use it. Let's go over to posture fix. Number 2. Cursor. Hop on in. Yes, because the first point is identical. So the first point, yes, the limitations must be at least 1 point. 1 point. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Limitation. The maximum curve, number of points, whatever, is 100 total points. Perfect. Thinking about this for a sec. Yep. Each point can have 2 handles. Has 2 handles, which determine the slope in and out. what is another thing we should be concerned about? I think that's okay for now. Let's let AI churn before we make some further opinions and push things as we actually want them. What's my opinion? What's my opinion on AI here? So it sucks how good it is because I love the creative process of writing code. And I love kind of losing myself in the challenge of it. When you have an AI running in the background building these things, yeah, it takes away a little bit of the magic. But it's a necessary evil if you want to be rapidly delivering these days. Do I have the ability to write all this code myself? Of course. Do I love it? And would I love to be doing all this? Yeah, I think so. But I still use the tooling because it makes me a bit faster, allows me to deliver a cool MVP feature like this on a live call. And hopefully, don't call me crazy, but hopefully under 3, 4 hours, question mark. I should check my phone to make sure I don't have an event coming up. Pretty sure I don't, but I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Anyway, point is that although I feel the pain of sitting here watching this thing do work, I'm only going to get it to do things that I can do and that it can just do faster. And then I treat it like an employee. That's my justification. Damn, I saw this clip from it was the CEO of NVIDIA today. And he essentially said that if you have a $500,000 per year engineer, he expects that engineer's token consumption to be $250,000 at the end of the year. That's very, very interesting. What are you doing with 250,000 tokens with an LLM? When I'm like peak usage, I feel like I don't know, maybe like 1,000 USD per month. Maybe I hit 2,000. I'm like really pushing it, like making a lot of changes, doing a lot of refactoring on something. But it's assuming 250,000 USD a year is crazy. Anyway, we're gonna let this guy churn. We're gonna review the plan. We're gonna let it implement it. But once we have our foundation, our structure, yeah, we're gonna go back into the weeds. We're gonna make sure that we're coding it ourselves. We don't want to be lazy. We don't want to forget our roots. Hey, camera, come back. Hey, gotcha. Let's check in Discord, see how things are going. How much longer will we be streaming? Looks great, very nice. Oh, thanks. Well, I can't wait to have you back. Well, thank you so much for. We just have this message. I'll read it since chat isn't being screen shared. How much longer will you be streaming? Looks great, and it's very nice to listen to your thought process. But I need to get back to work, so I'll return later. Thanks again, Mitch. I'm gonna be here for I think at least a couple of hours, letting things churn in the background, seeing if we can get to that MVP. But then I'll upload the video. As long as OBS doesn't explode on me, then I got this running, and you'll see this on YouTube in a bit. Just to make sure everyone could pop in. Obviously, I'm doing this at a time that's convenient for me and not the most convenient for everyone else. Let me respond to you in chat, though, because I really appreciated you. Heyo. I'll be around for a couple hours. And can't wait to have you back. I'll also upload to YouTube. Bing, bing, bing. Hey, make me feel good, Mitch. Thank you so much. I think it's Mitch. It's MICH. So love having you. Can't wait to have you back. Okay, let's check in on the robot. So for the cubic spline editor, I'm recommending a custom SVG editor built from scratch. Hey, easy there, kid. They gives full control over the periodic closed curve constraint. Don't you dare go custom. I am React Conva. Huh. Let me check out React Conva. I'm gonna crack open Chrome. I'm gonna bring you with me. That is camera 3. Getting better. Let's go look at React Conva. Like that. It's not one I've heard of. Let's go peek their GitHub. 14K. Looks pretty. Let's go check out Pixie.js. I'm talking about it for a bit. Let's peep their little GitHub. See who's cooler. Ah, 46. Sorry, Conva. What are your pros? High performance animation transitions, nesting, layering, filtering, caching, event handling. All this is available in Pixie.js. What are the differences? What are the differences? I am minimal bundle. This is possibly peak. Do I care that much? I don't know. We're gonna check to see what people at large say. Conva versus Pixie.js. What's the community opinion? Oh my gosh. Stack Overflow. It's been so long. I miss you. Yeah. Okay. Not quite. Thank you. CAD-like applications for drawing some shapes and image manipulations. That's interesting. I have the most experience with Pixie.js and I'm willing to support it long term. So, sorry. Sorry, Canva. Not in the mood. We're doing a quick MVP. Nothing else crazy. So we're going to say, please use Pixie.js instead and React Pixie, which for the record is already included in Pixie.js. Yeah, basically the same vibe, but I have experience. Okay, for the cubic spline JSON column, I'm thinking that each point stores the X number, 0 to 1 normalized position along the curve, the Y number, which is a 0 to 1 normalized value, the handle in and handle out. The x-axis represents time. Yes, this is roughly true. Handle out. Does this match your mental model? Just want to make sure. Yes, the fact that it's all normalized is good. It is going to be an interesting conversation to figure out how to chop up the curve. Once we have a cubic spline curve, I'm not too sure yet how we're going to cut it up on device. So again, we are doing that on device. But I'm in. Let's go. Yeah, normalize it, baby. All right, Pixie.js. It's not in the project, but thank you. Thank you for asking. Just curious what kind of framework it's going to give me, kind of layout. So anyway, we're going to double check. Oh no, did I forget to switch the camera? No. Where are you? No, you're on Chrome. I fail. My parents are going to be so disappointed. I don't talk to them. Ugh. What if they watch this? Anyway, they won't. Let's go. I forgot to bring you over, but hey, I'm coming back to Chrome anyway, so hey, it is what it is. All we did there was we just chatted a little bit with Cursor, let it know our plan. We're just gonna go take a peek at Pixie.js, make sure that nothing crazy has changed. Looks like we're on version 8. Let's go peep the playground. I know that I believe in version 7, React Pixie was merged in. Could be version 6, not too sure. Gotta go look it up. Okay, catching the vibe. This is still not React, obviously. It's just pure JS. Familiar. Appending a child, which is canvas. Container. Loading in a texture. Sprite. These are all now like React components instead of classes that we're instantiating. That is okay. And some kind of ticker. Okay. Give me your showcase. I want to see, not showcase, thank you. I will check your API, but I'm looking for more of a brief quick. Here's everything. I want your kitchen sink. Give me a kitchen sink. Where is it? Storybook. Yeah, let's try your storybook. No, no. I want to see a remote hosted storybook. No. Oh, is it just telling me how to host this? Hey, it's not what I wanted. All right. Back to reading the boring docs. It's brief, no problem. Do know quite a bit about Pixie.js. This is quite a familiar library to me. I delivered a map rendering and construction service from raw. What was it? God, what is the name of that file? Essentially, the people who construct buildings, construction firms, they build these really complex files that are opened inside of Revit. So I think they're called Revit models. And this is super detailed information, like to the point where, yeah, you can see the air ducting, but not only the air ducting, you can look at the freaking like Lorenz number of the air ducting to determine how airflow is going to go through it. So cool. I did like a fun simulation of COVID transmissibility inside of a hospital by looking at the Revit model and building a graph network inside of the air ducting to see if, hey, if you cough in a hallway, does the cough transit into other rooms using the airflow dynamics. Anyway, it was a fucking fun thing. Now it's just story time here. But the point I'm trying to get to is uh, when I was doing this Revit model extraction, I had to then render a simple navigatable map on your phone. And for that, I used Pixie.js. So I got quite a bit of reference on this one. Specifically, I used React Pixie. I got to tell you, the performance really impressed me. I always loaded it on my oldest phone as well. So I can just graph. Just making sure there's nothing crazy new, you know, just a quick skim. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, did Colleen make it in? Very fun. When I did this last, Colleen had to be added in as an extension. It's like a plugin called Pixie Call. Fun. Okay, that's cool. Yes. Local versus global coordinates, I believe. This feels familiar. Yes. All right. We're gonna jump down to migrations in a second here. Garbage collection, render loop. Just make sure like roughly we got everything back. Rendering occurs, GPU draw calls, and to take a callback, up to the scene, controlling the loop. Fun, fun, fun. Chill, chill, chill. Render groups is new, or at least I don't recognize it. Let me make sure I understand it. When you mark a container as a render group, ExeJS builds a separate set of render instances for everything inside of it. Interesting. The group's own transform, because I know containers and visual properties are applied to as a single GPU operation. Oh, interesting. Huh. Nothing is recalculated per child on the CPU. I wonder if this always existed. I wonder when this came in. Stable subtrees, distinct scene parts. Okay, fun. Fun. Ah. Oh, down degrade performance. I don't think we're gonna get to this level, by the way. It's just the thing that I replace when I'm vibe coding, when I'm allowing the AI to do work, which again, I critically recommend you only let it do work you already know how to do. The thing that I do instead is I just make sure I'm up to date on the information that's gonna help me guide it better. I gotta treat myself more like a technical lead, which I am, but more like a technical lead than a developer in all these instances. Give it the clear vision, the executable steps. Don't ask it what its thoughts are. It's still learning. Not ready to take over the world yet. All right, 6 p.m. I got an hour. So we're gonna try to rush this. I'm gonna temporarily vanish, respond to a message. Ooh, can I? I cannot. Cannot respond to a message. So, hey. Is what it is. But I only got 1 hour. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can get there in 1 hour. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, cursor. Full focus. All right. Build a cubic spline editor. Let's go. What do we got? Panelist tag table. Detail create page. Right, interactive curve editing. Yes. So I want to see your proposal. ID, owner, name, version, cubic spline, updated at, created at. Great, great, great. Yes, only the owner. Good stuff. Spline data model. The cubic spline JSON column stores an array of these values. Yes, that is correct. Constraints enforced in the UI, not DB. That is correct. Yep, minimum is 1, mirrored to 0. Perfect. The last point always it's always auto-generated to copy the first point. Yes, that's correct. C1 continuous. Love it. Handle in. Yes, that is correct. The slope, yeah, not the point. 8 and pixie. Thank you. Okay, client side is correct. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Pattern list page. Yes, select all renders this. Yeah, okay. Creating pattern. I'm sure you will do great. We have the whole shad CN library installed to make this a little bit faster. That's fine. Thank you. We do like co-locating files, so hopefully it does do that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. UID fetch from database not found redirect to. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but it's okay. For now, it's okay. Prefer to have an error mode. We'll modify in a sec. Yep. Main client, orchestration, canvas utils. Okay, so I don't like this naming convention, but it is attempting to co-locate the way I requested. That's okay. I'll leave it. It's trying its best. I'm not gonna force it to change. Spline canvas. Hey, let's make sure. Is it cubic spline? We have to make sure. Bezier curves versus cubic splines. Oh, and I still didn't bring you with me. Ah, dang. All right. Well, let me go be at least half okay at this. And I'll review the doc that I was just going through, but with you present. So come on over. All right. Otherwise, you're just sitting there watching me say yes for a minute. All right. So first off, proposal. The proposal is, get out of here. Let me hang out with my friends. Get out of here. All right. That is going to make a new table. The new table is going to be awesome.pattern. So in the awesome schema. Here's the structure. Here are the RLS policies, all approved. Here is the JSON B type. Now this is going to be an array of these spline points, which is the XY point, normalize 0 to 1, and the handle in points, normalize 0 to 1. Awesome. Love it. Constraints enforced in the UI, not database. This is true. Love it. Dependencies to install. These are correct and approved. The patterns list page will fetch all. The thing that I was saying before is we like co-locating. This is some kind of co-locating, but it's not the problems I was seeing before. Right. If you are here and the UID is equal to new, we're creating. Love it. If it is a valid UID, we're going to try to fetch from Supabase and populate with whatever data we find. Great. If the pattern is not found, redirect back to awesome patterns. I don't think that's the best flow. That's okay for now. Layout. So pattern name and display. Cool. Version. Yeah. PCGS spline editor. Sure. Forcing a height, which I don't love, but we'll work on that in the future. This is our main editor. This is the pattern toolbar. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. We'll let it try. This is a naming convention I did not like. Spline canvas.utils.ts. Not a huge fan. Prefer co-location inside of a directory called spline canvas, with the main file being called index.tsx, and then utils being called utils.ts. That's my preference. I'm not going to press it right now just because we're kind of rushing. And then the thing that made me pause, they called it a cubic Bezier curve. And what I really want to make sure is that the cubic Bezier curve, if that's the same thing I'm thinking of, that it is a pure function, that it doesn't loop back on itself, and it can't be forced to loop back on itself. The condition then that we need is almost certainly that the handles can't invert, or the handle can't have a degree such that, should we just force it to be continuous? Can't break your handles. I think so. We're gonna let it run, but yes, we have a risk there. The control points are draggable circles, and the points themselves are draggable circles. All right, good enough. K, works for me, works for me. Server actions co-located. Sure, create pattern is a server function of this type. Returns the UID. Cool. Update pattern. Okay. Delete pattern. Okay. Works for me. Zod validation. There's a little bit of nice co-location. I will take it. Type gen. Here we go, baby. Build. Let's see what happens. Now, in the interim, let's start conceiving of what it looks like. Let's crack open freeform, which is camera 4. And let me do an OBS check. Make sure you're with me. Also, lighting's getting a bit dim. Right, you just get this creepy shadow. This creepy shadow, I think it's fine. All right. Let's think a little bit about, so keeping this down here to keep everyone on task. We're doing an MVP of pattern drawing. The question that I now have is how precisely? So we know that the dashboard has a cubic spline. Great. We're going to assume it's validated. We're going to save pattern validation for later. We send the entire cubic spline to the awesome. The awesome must then, let me do this a little better. The awesome must choose stepper points that it will traverse to based on your current speed, stroke, depth, not sensation. Must choose stepper target positions based on from the cubic spline, based on speed, stroke, depth. The other one. What's the other one? I keep saying it out loud. Not sensation. Oh my gosh. Brain. What is up with that thing? Why can't brains just be robots? Oh, they are. So soon. So soon. All right. AJ forgets. So we say ETC. Depth, stroke. Come on, brain, etc. Hey. So let's talk about how that will work, and then we'll go review what the AI just finished. So here's the sitch. I give you 2 points. How many points am I giving you? I give you this. We're gonna say I give you X is 0. Don't forget X is time-like, it's time-ish. And Y is 0. So you're starting at the bottom with handles, handle in, has X0, Y0, and handle out has X0, Y0. So like we're talking dead simple. This is a real simple point. That's point 1. Here's point 2. So X, the maximum extent of X. Let's think about this for a sec. Is 1. So we're going to say at the midpoint, 0.5, you're at Y1. Dead simple, dead simple. The simplest it can be. When x is 1, we're going to say y is 0. So what have I just drawn here? I have drawn the following shape. We're going to assume that this is the pattern created inside of the dashboard. Let's go and in fact pull our little internally consistent dashboard boy here, 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 well, like this. So the shape that I've just drawn is the shape. This is the cubic spline that I've sent over. This would be as close as possible as we could get to the simple penetration mode, I think. Technically, I should note, this is not C1 continuous. If we're is C0 continuous, the first domain in C1 is the first derivative. Technically, this is not C1 continuous. It's not continuous in the first derivative. The stepper will account for that by not being able to instantaneously change direction, change velocity. But it's worth noting that one of our validation conditions is going to have to be softened. That's all right. We don't mind. So what exactly is going to happen? So I receive this. I know this. So we're going to say, I know my speed. We're going to say, I think this is also in percent, by the way. We're going to say my speed is 50%. Let's not even think about anything else for a second. If my speed is 50%, how quickly am I stepping through this? Because we're still not at an answer. So what's the question? The question is, how quick should I be able to move from one end of this pattern to the other end? Realistically, the question then becomes, how quick can I move between any 2 points inside of this time frame? So if I want to figure out what speed equals 50% means and how it converts to me just stepping through the damn thing, smarter person would just take a guess. Do a guess and check. But I'm going to try to solve it. I'm trying to answer this question. So if I have, if my pattern has 100 points, 100 points, then the nearest two neighboring points, let's assume they're equally distributed. Perhaps that's a limitation we should also put, which are equally distributed. Then it would look something. Oh, hey, I'm in a constant fight with energy. I need more plugs. I need more plugs. Then I essentially got points like this, right? They're equally distributed, so it's 1 over 100, so 0.01. Plus or minus a little bit. Depends on how you're counting things. Let's assume for now that it's perfectly fine. So this is the closest 2 points will ever be. This is the fastest 2 points will ever have to move in the y coordinate, which is position, or position-ish, position-like. Let's make the assumption. So assume that y equals 1 equals 300 millimeters. The reason we're making this assumption is that is the length of the default linear rail on the OSSM. So in order to understand the variable x, so the time delta, if we want to maintain that things are physically viable. You can physically make these motions on a machine, which I think is a reasonable constraint. Then what we want to do is say that if y equals 1, or we'll say, we'll be clear 100%, is equal to 300 millimeters, then x equals 0.01 time units. Hello. Wow. Am I blown out? No. Okay. So then x equal to 0.01 time units must mean that we're moving at the fastest possible linear speed of the awesome for that range. Let's make sure. Let's make sure I'm not crazy here. So, to be clear, what I'm stating is that there is an amount of time in seconds with which we're traversing this, knowing that we're moving at our max speed. So we can determine our max speed. Max speed is programmed into the device and on the motor. We're going to pop into the code really quick. Let's go do that and find out where max speed is stored. You are camera 2. I hope you're here, because I'm not going to check. I'm in the flow. So inside of awesome, specifically inside of software, I believe under source, constants, and user config, potentially somewhere else. No. Let's take a look here. Right. So we're looking for speed, max speed. There we are, inside of config.h. So constants config.h. Max speed in millimeters per second. Math time. All right, so 100, sorry, 1,500. Let's just open a calculator. Sorry. It's off screen. You can't see it. Yep. So we have 1,500, which is our max RPM, divided by 60 times the pulley tooth count, which is 20, times the belt pitch millimeters, which is 2.0. Got it? So our max speed in millimeters per second is 0.625. Let's take that into freeform, and I will bring you back with me this time. Let's go check our OBS. Did I do it? While you're here, who knows if I did it? 0.625 millimeters per second. There it is. So that means our fastest possible time dimension is 300 divided by 0.625 with the calculator, because I am not that smart. 0.625. We're going to say, huh? Am I crazy? Oh, yeah, I'm crazy. What's going on? That can't be right. Millimeters per second? I'm gonna check Discord. Tell me if I'm being dumb. Is anyone there? Screen is frozen. Dang. Dora, I need your help. I need your help with math. All right, let me try to refresh my screen. Turn it off camera. Turn it on camera. Oh, it's still frozen. Love to see it. Love to see it. It's not frozen on a good one either. And it's quite far back. Let's see what we can do. Let's attempt to refresh this bad boy. You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to go into OBS and tell that fella to stop virtual camera and start virtual camera. Come on back. OBS, you